efficiency. Incorporate renewable energy and maximize the use of natural lighting, heating, and ventilation sources. You should also buy 230-volt equipment as these run more efficiently and can help lower your electricity usage. As an individual consumer, I cannot impact global fuel prices. However, I can ease the burden of rising fuel rates by creating an energy-efficient home. What can you do?
GRENLEC, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back. More than 1,800 teachers in Grenada will benefit from a 13% pay increase to be paid incrementally over the period 2023 to 2025. With government and the executive of the Grenada Union of Teachers sealing the deal on the collective agreement for salary and fringe benefits, teachers will receive 4% increase in 2023 and 2024 and 5% in 2025. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, who witnessed the signing on Wednesday, commended GUT's President General and his team for maintaining a cordial atmosphere that ensured teachers were well represented. He encouraged other unions to meet and negotiate with government to avoid backlogs, as was the case in the past.
I certainly always wish we can give more. And if the GDP grows, if the resources grows, then certainly the teachers and all workers have my own commitment, and I think the commitment of the government, to be as fair as we can, bearing in mind that all resources are finite. So I think the spirit in which the negotiations were conducted was critical, and I think that led to the fact that the parties could have sat around the table and negotiated and come to an agreement themselves without having to call upon the Labour Commissioner or without having to resort to any type of industrial action. And in that sense, I want to thank and praise the GUT for showing, I think, leadership within the industrial sector as to how to go about conducting its business, encouraging the other unions to follow the example set by the Grenada Union of Teachers in coming to speedy terms with the government in concluding the negotiations. And it's important because, as was pointed out, we are moving to bi-monthly payments on the 15th of April, and we would certainly want to be in a position where all government workers, all public sector workers employed by the state can in fact benefit from the increases in their salaries almost immediately, and so that we don't have to deal with the complications and the administrative task of retroactive payments.
Deputy Chair of the government's negotiating team, Lindana Hilaire-Marshall, is happy with the outcome of the process, which she says is being done to preserve a happy and healthy industrial climate.
In our view, we thought it went extremely cordial. While we would have had some frank and, discussions, we know how negotiations can be. And so we expected all of that. And we are grateful that we come to this conclusion at the end where we would be able to meet what it is that we're obligated to. And we know fully well that both sides have the same interest. We are interested in the betterment of our workers, mindful of the fact that our workers are the valued asset to be able to realize the government's transformation agenda. So we are really eternally grateful to be at this point where we can sign our agreement. And so we just want to express thank you to the Grenada Union of Teachers, and we also want to say thanks to our team, and we look forward to us continuing our cordial relationships as we keep our industrial climate safe and happy in Grenada.
The signing marks a historic moment for members of the Grenada Union of Teachers, not only being the first union to meet and settle with government, but also having an appreciation for the duration of the negotiation process. President General Jude Bartholomew said although teachers deserve a bigger increase, the union body is happy that government moved speedily to ensure the process was a success.
Historically, the Grenada Union of Teachers and other unions most of the times had to, march on the streets, go through the Labour Commissioner process, through mediation and other things for salary increase. And we note this time on record, or place on record here, is a historic moment that we should appreciate and recognize. We may not have gotten, and you'll never be able to get all that you really want and you hope to. But at the same time, when you come together and such, we come to a common understanding, and we think that we're at a very good place. And at this time, when the government of Grenada would have, paid pension, deduct salary, 23% for TAMCC who haven't been paid for a long period of time, and recognizing all the different things that the government is doing for workers. We just want to show some praise and appreciation to the Honorable Deacon Mitchell and his administration for really and truly giving us 13%, at this time, and we are grateful.
The fringe benefits in the new agreement will result in an increase in financial compensation for extracurricular work, including the marking of school-based assessment scripts. Roughly 24 hours after the teachers signed their agreement for more benefits, more than 34 million EC dollars in scholarships were awarded for the academic year commencing in January 2023. Recipients are attending St. George's University, the University of the West Indies, and others at the secondary level. Details in this report by Annette Moore.
The Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture held its first virtual scholarship award ceremony for 2023 on Thursday, March 30th via the Zoom platform.
A heartfelt thank you goes out to the Government of Grenada and its Cabinet. We also extend a hearty thank you to the University of the West Indies, the Grenada Houston Association, the Mother Noel Charity, and the St. George's University. We would also like to extend our gratitude to the officials within the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports, and Culture.
A total of 76 awards were presented to students for study at the St. George's University at a cost of EC $34.1 million. 3 economic bursaries to UWI's main campuses for study in the area of law, valued at more than EC $107,900, were awarded. 8 scholarships costing more than EC $10,800 were awarded from the Grenada Houston Association to students at the secondary and tertiary level, and more than EC $21,900 were awarded by the Mother Noel Charity Scholarships to 5 students. The Mother Noel Charity is a new organization providing financial assistance to students of secondary and tertiary level institutions. Minister for Education, Senator the Honorable David Andrew, congratulated awardees, reminding everyone that the aim is still to have at least 1 university graduate per household.
I am particularly delighted that at this time we were able to have included the awardees for law at the Cable campus. That was prohibited prior to our arrival. And so I'm particularly happy to see that we have removed the restriction placed on students of law in our uni campuses. So we are particularly happy to see that.
The Education Minister also extended thanks to all partners.
The Ministry of Education and no doubt the government of Grenada, we are very happy to collaborate with our partners. The Mother Noel Charity, the Houston Association, the Grenada Houston Association, the University of the West Indies campuses, and the St. George's University. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. And I want to localize the statement to say that education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change Grenada. You as awardees, you are part of this transformation, having received these awards today. We are hopeful that we are going to receive the benefits of this investment in you in the coming years. Take it seriously, do your best, and ensure that you seek to give back to this country. Yes.
Honorable Andrew reminded everyone that government has additional plans for making higher education more accessible to all students. The Permanent Secretary with responsibility for education, Elvis Moraine, welcomed the Mother Noel Charity as they come on board. He also thanked the staff at the scholarship desk and other stakeholders.
I must extend my personal appreciation for the hard work that they have been doing, interfacing with you, the recipients, but of course all persons who have walked through this department, as well as our various partners who have been with us for a very long time.
The ceremony also included remarks by the Minister of State with responsibility for youth, sports and culture, Honorable Ron Redhead, the chair of the Grenada Houston Association Scholarship Committee, Grace Peppers, chairperson of the Mother Noel Charity, Watkinson Noel, and SGU Associate Dean of Admissions, Colin Dow. Dow highlighted the history of support provided by the SGU, the close working relationship between the university and Government of Grenada since 1977, and the unique advantages of the university.
Tertiary education for Grenadians is not only available on the True Blue campus, but accessible by virtue of this partnership. And we are heartened to be able to continue this work with the Ministry of Education and the Government of Grenada and look forward to many more years of Grenadians benefiting.
Dow congratulated the SGU recipients, also reminding them of the strong legacy that they will be a part of at SGU. He says it's one reason they should feel proud of their university.
You are joining a legacy of upwards of 22,000 graduates. You are joining a legacy that speaks about the #1 provider of physicians to the U.S. healthcare system. You are joining a legacy that in 2023 alone has placed upwards of 970 physicians, new physicians, into the U.S. healthcare market. You are joining a legacy that speaks to the largest private employer on island. You're joining a legacy that speaks to greater than 20% of Grenada's GDP. You're joining a legacy that has a School of Veterinary Medicine that is the only one in the Western Hemisphere, this side of the Atlantic, that is accredited by both the American Veterinary Medical Association and the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons. You're joining a legacy that has a School of Arts and Sciences, Marine Wildlife Conservation Biology degree program, that is the only one on the Western Hemisphere, this side of the Atlantic, and one of only 25 outside of the UK to be accredited by the Royal Society of Biology. I say all of this because I implore you to be proud ambassadors of your institution.
The chairperson of the Mother Noel Charity spoke about his organization's goals and looks forward to seeing the results of their contribution to nation development.
The Mother Noel Charity is set up in memory of my mom. She was born in Carriacou in 1934, traveled to the UK at an early age and returned to Carriacou in 1995 and passed away in 2019. She had a charitable nature. I'm grateful that in our first year, we've had very good response. Our format is slightly different to that of Grenada Houston Association. We are not going by parishes. We just look, as we're starting out, we look to award between 5 and 6 scholarships per year initially, until support builds up with funds and so on. And in the future, as we grow, we would look to support in more areas than just providing scholarships once a year.
The Grenada Houston Association representative gave more information on their scholarships.
I hope one day to see or hear of all your accomplishments. All your hard work will someday pay off. The Grenada Houston Association gives at least 7 scholarships each year, 1 to each parish and 1 to Carriacou and Peter-McNee.
Honorable Redhead, in his remarks, says these scholarships awarded are essential to building Grenada, referencing the importance of nursing scholarships in particular.
Many of the students who struggle to get access to education do and can attest to the fact that these opportunities, while they still may be scarce, they are still relevant for us to move ourselves and our country forward.
The government of Grenada has announced appointments to overseas diplomatic missions, as well as special envoys in health, investments, and information communication technology for a period of 2 to 3 years. At the overseas diplomatic missions, governments will staff each with at least 2 diplomats. The appointed ambassadors are Mr. Ian Marshall, People's Republic of China. He will be supported by Ms. Tricia Bethel, First Secretary at the Beijing Mission. Embassy of Grenada to the Kingdom of Belgium, Permanent Mission to the European Union in Brussels, Mr. Raphael Joseph, assisted by Councillor Simba St. Bernard. High Commission to the Court of St. James in the United Kingdom, Ms. Rocher Croney, and First Secretary at the High Commission in London, Ms. Lorne Bartholomew. Ambassador to the USA, Mexico, and Permanent Representative to the Organization of American States and High Commissioner to Canada, Mr. Tarley Francis, pending agreement by the receiving country. He will be assisted by Dr. Wendell Cornwall. Havana, Cuba Embassy will be headed by Ambassador-designate Glenn Noel and assisted by First Secretary Sabrina Dumont. His Excellency Ambassador Hassan Hadid was retained to represent Grenada in Venezuela and was also assigned to the Republic of Colombia and will also be accredited to the Republic of Panama. Mr. Che Philip will head the UN mission in New York and will be assisted by First Secretary Ms. Nerissa Williams. Mr. Michael Brizan will head the New York Consulate, while Mr. Elwin McQuilkin will head the Consulate in Port of Spain. Toronto Consulate will be headed by Mr. Jerry Hopkin, and Mr. Zia Ramahan will head the Consulate in Dubai. Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, Honorable Joseph Andel, says his government believes there is expertise within the ambassadors and envoys chosen.
In keeping with government's new thrust on the diplomatic front, we believe in the formation of a professional foreign service. We think that it is important that we seek out the best among us, that we provide opportunities for people who have dedicated their lives to service at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, but also for young professionals who wish to embark on a career of diplomacy. We believe that the approach we have taken to carefully select, vet people, provide the necessary training, which will be ongoing, that this approach is one that is going to bear fruit and that will ultimately serve the best interest of our country.
3 special appointments were made in keeping with government's priorities areas. Dr. Trevor Lane, Global Health Ambassador, Mr. Orlando Romain, Special Envoy for the Creative Economy and ICT, and Ms. Andrea St. Bernard, Development and Investment in the Prime Minister's Office. When asked about the appointment of a Global Health Ambassador, Minister Andel commented that the newly appointed Health Ambassador will serve the interests of Grenada's health sector, a priority area as identified by Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell in the 2023 budget.
Government identified a number of priority areas. Top of that list is health and wellness. It is well known, well documented, the challenges we face with that sector in Grenada, and we believe that it is in the national interest that we have someone specially dedicated to accessing resources, whether it be via training, via the provision of equipment, facilities, and so on, to take part to represent Grenada at international conferences where serious decisions are taken which will have impact on the type of healthcare services that we provide to the nation. Dr. Lane is well known, well experienced, well respected in the field, also importantly well connected, and we are confident that his appointment to that position will translate into significant benefits to the healthcare sector in our country.
Governments will continue training individuals interested in diplomacy and foreign services for the country. This is the Government Week in Review. When we return, Sherrian Noel speaks with Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs.
I think I've decided. I want this one.
Excuse me. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. Can you tell me why it is you decided to purchase this fridge?
Sure, because it's a lot cheaper, looks good, and if I should say, does the same job as all the others.
I see. Can I show you something?
No problem.
See what the sign says? It said this appliance uses natural refrigerants.
So,
This refrigerator uses green cooling technology with natural refrigerants, which is environmentally friendly and does not hamper to the environment and the ozone layer. Equipments like these will greatly reduce your electricity bill, last longer, perform better, and protect the environment, and will give you the peace of mind in knowing that you are doing your part in creating a more environmentally responsible world for current and future generations.
so you're telling me that this fridge right here may cost a little more now, but I can save on my electricity bill? It will perform better and last longer than this other one and have all the things you just said?
Oh yeah.
Remember, when purchasing an AC or refrigerator for your home or business, be sure to ask for the one that uses natural refrigerants. Go green.
Let's beware, let's beware. Cooling, going green, you hear? So the ozone layer won't disappear. So let's go green, using natural refrigerants. Let's go green.
Welcome back. Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Honorable Tevin Andrews, says Carriacou continues to get its fair share in the transformational pie. Honorable Andrews was sharing on projects and programs undertaken by his government in Carriacou and Petite Martinique since being elected into office 9 months ago. With the support given by his cabinet colleagues, Honorable Andrews believes they are on the right track to deliver the projects, programs and services that form part of the transformational agenda. The team of Sherry Ann Noel and Dovel Emily visited Carriacou recently and spoke with Minister Andrews.
If the government of Grenada is to realize its desired goal of access by all to quality health care on the sister isle and Grenada in general, trained specialists in the various fields must be deployed for that purpose. That's according to Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Honorable Tevin Andrews. In an interview with the Government Information Service, Minister Andrews reaffirmed his government's commitment that health care and food security are top priority areas, and the plan is to ensure residents are adequately trained. He said the focus is also to understand the varying components that are required and the importance of public-private partnership to give financial assistance to individuals to study in the various fields. Honorable Andrews says thankfully, Carriacou has not felt the brunt of migration and brain drain, as is the case on the mainland.
We are trying to identify and encourage young people to study in areas that will be able to benefit the island in a positive way. From lab technicians, biomed technicians, ultrasound technicians, and the likes, to assist us with our building our diagnostic unit. So that has been a challenge as well, because our young people are not coming forward to grab those opportunities and run with it. So what I've realized is that the equipments are there, or we can get the equipment, but the manpower, the trained people are not there so that we can deliver the service. So for the last few months, we've been working with the schools, working with the youth department, so that we can identify young people that are interested so that we can send them to study.
The fisheries sector is another important area in which the government has made a significant investment. One of the projects to begin soon is the demolition and construction of a proper facility for the fisher folks at Windward.
There's an allocation for this year's budget to build a fish market in Windward.
Is Windward considered a fishing capital?
Well, almost every village is considered a fishing capital, you know. But Windward is one of the main areas that you have a number of fishermen. And there's an existing fish market, but it's in a dilapidated state for a number of years. Recognizing that, we budgeted for demolish and some parts of it, but build back something bigger and better. So that's what we are doing for the fisher folks. In addition to that, building of small jetties and so on for the fisher folks, so that they can, whenever they come in with their load, they would be able to do that easily. Yes, and of course other support to the fishing community throughout the length and breadth, from Petite Martinique to carriacou.
Ice trucks and ice machines have already been donated to the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique Affairs to assist the fisherfolk on the islands.
A call to the Grenada Cooperative League Limited to place more emphasis on organizing cooperatives into a formal, lucrative sector. It comes from Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, who says the transformative future of cooperatives depends on improved organization and cooperation. Prime Minister Mitchell was at the time addressing the first annual business luncheon of the cooperative sector, which was held at Belmont Estate on Wednesday. The cooperative sector contributes significantly to the growth of the economy through job creation and the provision of a platform for communities to work together to build social capital. He said small as well as large cooperatives must be pooled together to improve market and export opportunities to generate more revenue for the sector and the economy. Honorable Mitchell's address was themed National Transformation and the Cooperative Sector.
The opportunities for continued growth of cooperatives are significant, particularly in the areas of agriculture and livestock production, strengthening agro-processing, improving the utilization of marine resources, developing the creative and digital economies, and strengthening linkages among the sectors and with the tourism industry. There is therefore a clear developmental role for the Grenada Cooperative League Limited in the expansion of non-financial cooperative sector. And I give my government's commitment to support efforts towards the strengthening of existing entities and to encourage formation of new cooperatives. The financial cooperative sector, dominated by credit unions, also has a key role to play in national transformation, not only through education and literacy programs, but by a critical examination of the credit portfolio, with a view to engaging in investments that would contribute to transforming the economy.
Prime Minister Mitchell highlighted the creative industry as one sector that can be utilized to boost the cooperative industry. He said the creative industry is valued globally at over $2 trillion.
As we seek to maximize the benefits of this emerging sector, brimming with the possibilities for our citizens and especially our young people, I ask that we look to the possibility of integrating creative industry into the credit portfolio of our financial institutions.
President of the Credit Union League Limited, Randy Boyk Cadet, is pleased that the league can work with government to achieve its agenda. He says the onus is on each member to play his part in the transformational journey.
We within the cooperative sector, we believe that we are duty-bound because working together is what we do best. The strategic plan of the League and our sector, which is in its 15th month of implementation, is labeled Transformational Journey. This team will seek to examine the further, the additional, the more, the extra that we can do to help transform our nation to world-class excellence as we prepare for a future beyond 50 years of independence. This team calls us to assess the lessons learned and how, as a cooperative sector, we can chart a new path towards prosperity for Grenada, recognizing that the cooperative sector is a key driving force in our country's economic growth and development.
Talking agriculture, Grenada is among 8 Caribbean countries undertaking soil sampling surveys in collaboration with the Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management Support Office for the Caribbean, the University of the West Indies campus, and the Global Environment Facility Project. Betty-Ann Lazarus has a report.
The National Soil Sampling Survey was officially launched on Monday, March 27th at the Public Workers Union Building, St. George's. The regional exercise, conducted among 8 countries, is embraced with open arms in Grenada since the last official survey was conducted over 50 years ago. Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives, Senator Adrian Thomas, highlighted the significance of this important step for the agriculture agricultural sector.
The overarching objective of this National Soil Sampling Survey is to provide Grenada with updated national soil information, including soil maps, that will assist in making informed decisions as it relates to soil fertility, soil management, land capability, and land use. Brothers and sisters, we all know that soil plays a vital role in our lives. Soil makes the human existence possible. In Grenada, the agriculture sector is geared to be one of the main drivers of our new economic development. And soil, whether natural or substituted, is the main anchoring medium. Therefore, because agriculture is cross-cutting and impacts on all sectors, the Caribbean people must now treat and manage its natural resources, soil and land, in the way that we can maximize production, enhance food security, and reduce land degradation.
A team of extension officers will be working with local and regional representatives over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives, Aaron Francois, delivered opening remarks, stating his elation with the commencement of such an important project for Grenada.
The officers who would be involved in the survey, it really requires us to take a different mindset in terms of what we are embarking on and the importance of the soil survey for Grenada. And so I want all of us to be on board with this initiative and to give it the seriousness that it deserves to help propel the agricultural sector forward.
University of the West Indies St. Augustine Campus representative Micah Martin also spoke of the relevance of the survey.
The inability of the soil to perform its roles will contribute to food insecurity. It will increase our susceptibility to adverse climatic conditions, and it will reduce our ability to achieve climate-resilient economic goals. In order to reverse this, we must address the issue of land degradation. Data on our land use and soil quality must be up to date and easily accessible by government and other stakeholder organizations at the local, regional, and international level. The Faculty of Food and Agriculture, in its execution of Component 1 of this project, will be administering 5 academic scholarships to build technical capacity in the disciplines of soil science and land management.
The Global Environment Facility Project Focal Point representative is agronomist Alison Haynes.
I believe that we are in need of an updated soil information system so that we can better advise our farmers, so that we can make better decisions for the sector as a whole, and so we'll have sustainable development. This soil survey of 2023 that will be conducted under the Soil Care Project will be a more extensive survey. It will be a more comprehensive survey, a more complete survey, where we'll be able to gather information on all of the indicators of soil degradation. So it's not only the physical properties, and it's not only limited to soil structure and soil texture.
150 points have been identified for sampling throughout the state of Grenada. Project manager Trevor Thompson also spoke of the value of conducting the national survey.
I want to thank the ministers of agriculture across the region, the UNCCD focal points, and the task force and the PISLM staff, led by Mr. Calvin James, the executive director, who had the vision for our Caribbean people agriculture to lead and to be self-sufficient in food production. We understood that if you're going to be food secure, we must have data and information. And the best place to start is the soils. as Alison said, this is not fertility mapping. This is a comprehensive soil survey that will solve all of the sectors of the country economy. Physical planning will have information that they could advise people who are going to subdivide lands, whether it's suitable for housing or not. If the Ministry of Infrastructure is going to do roads, you know, the problem we had in Molyneux, we spent how much millions to get a geotechnical survey. If we had the soils data, it would have put us in a better position to make and to advise the government.
At the recently held high-level regional forum of agricultural ministers in Trinidad and Tobago, participating countries and donors agreed to increasing the number of territories which will participate in Phase 2 of the Soil Care Project, with focus areas expanded to include drought response and mitigation. I am Betty Lazarus, Communications Coordinator of the Ministry of Agriculture.
We take our final break. When we return, we'll tell you more about the series of town hall meetings to discuss minimum wage.
Have you noticed an increase or decrease in your electricity bill? You know that changes in the fuel and non-fuel rates affect your bill. You should also be aware that changes in household activities affect your bill. Ask yourself these questions. Have the rates changed? Have there been more people at your home? Have your children been on holiday? Have you used your fan or air conditioning unit more often to beat the heat? Are any of your electrical appliances or equipment faulty? Have you added any new appliances such as transformers, water heaters, or pumps? Make it a habit to understand any changes on your electricity bill. For more factors that affect your bill, visit www.grenlec.com. Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back. A series of town hall meetings on minimum wage facilitated by the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation for the Ministry of Labor will begin next week, Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at the GBSS Auditorium from 6 p.m. The meetings will target trade unions, the Employers Federation, as well as employers and employees to ensure there is full stakeholder representation. The objective is for the Minimum Wage Advisory Committee to gather public input on issues related to the general minimum wage, along with the sectoral, local, and gender-based wage disparities. The meetings will continue in St. David on Wednesday, April 12th from 6 p.m. Residents of St. Andrew can participate in the sessions on April 19th, Carriacou and Pd Martinique on April 26th, St. John and St. Mark on May 3rd, all beginning at 6 p.m. The series of meetings will conclude in St. Patrick on May 10th, and all will be streamed live on GIS Channel 22, the GIS Facebook and YouTube pages. Grenada's agriculture sector could benefit from digital agriculture and innovation initiatives that will support implementation activities to build capacities in the country's agri-food systems. The global network of digital agriculture innovation hubs and regional e-agriculture for the Caribbean, a post-COVID-19 mechanism to promote resilient agri-food projects, were launched by the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives in conjunction with the Food and Agriculture Organization on March 22nd, 2023. More details from Karima Lewis.
These two projects will support ongoing initiatives being implemented by the government with FAO's technical support. This work will support the strengthening of the enabling environment for the adoption of digital agriculture strategies at the national level and to establish a national digital agriculture innovation hub and program to accelerate the development and uptake of digital innovations that support farmers and the value chain actors, especially youth and women, to become more competitive. Both initiatives also include innovation using public-private partnerships and result in resources being leveraged to maximize impact and strengthen the engagement and commitment of all stakeholders. The Inception and Work Plan Validation Workshop for the projects was held from March 22nd to March 24th, 2023, with key stakeholders like farmers, government officials, extension officers, and private sector to get an integrated view of projects, objectives, and expected benefits. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Fisheries and Cooperatives, Aaron Francois, is confident that the incorporation of digital technology in the agricultural sector will help in curbing the many challenges currently facing the sector.
As you know, there are serious challenges that are facing the agricultural sector, right? And we know some of these challenges very well. Low product quality, high input prices, lack of information on best practices, lack of market information for decision or informed decision making, high incidence of pre-larceny. We have included a component to address pre-larceny using digital technology. We want to go into that in that direction because we believe it can help in a significant way to help cause the incidence of high pre-larceny in Grenada.
Focal point for the project and Computer Systems Administrator in the Ministry of Agriculture, Kenton Fletcher, says the projects will bring forth the ICT innovation the sector needs.
This project is trying to now get people thinking innovative ideas, also to train people in the usage of digital agriculture. Take, for instance, we want to help farmers do better record keeping. We want to help them in better managing their farms. So these are the issues we're trying to target, and these are the issues we're trying to work with to get the digital agriculture to improve production, so farmers can get easy access to markets. So it could be a simple Excel spreadsheet just to handle your record keeping. It could be an app to let you know that this person wants this much, he's looking for this much produce at this point in time, and he's willing to pay this much.
Project coordinator and FAO's International Value Chain Development expert, Vermeeren Extevor, says the initiative provides Grenada with a strategy for transforming the sector digitally and seeing the use of emerging solutions in the agricultural sector.
And through that process, also find the opportunity to pilot and to begin interventions to respond to digital gaps in digital agriculture. So we've done some scoping before, and using the opportunity to introduce programs such as Innovation Hubs, a space where different agricultural connections can be made between different actors, be it a marketing app or be it a farmer registration portal that will strengthen the services of dimensional agriculture.
Participants of the Inception and Work Plan Validation Workshop, President of the Grenada Network of Rural Women Producers, Teresa Marichou, says digital agriculture initiatives could make a significant difference in how things are done at GIS.
This project is very timely, and it will make a great impact on GIS and its members, seeing that we have a large group of members to work with. It will be able to enhance the communication system. They'll be able to see the need and the importance of being digital ready for the agricultural sector.
Geographic Information Systems Technician in the Ministry of Agriculture, John L. MacDonald, foresees marked improvements in the farming community with the onset of these digital agriculture projects.
Once the project is implemented and with training, I think it will be very beneficial to the farmers, not only to farmers, but to the agricultural sector. Everything is like monetized with the irrigation system, as one was saying. Now, I think it's doing with manual, with ICT, you can connect it to devices, and instead of you have to get up and turn on your irrigation, this can be automatically done.
The Embassy of the People's Republic of China has donated $41,000 worth of equipment to schools in St. Patrick. The items were presented during an official ceremony at the St. Patrick Anglican School on Thursday. This follows a request to the embassy by Honorable Joseph Andal, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, and MP for St. Patrick East, Honorable Dennis Cornwall. More details in this report.
According to Ambassador Wei, close cooperation in sports has been conducted between China and Grenada since the establishment of diplomatic ties, and exchanges in sports has always been an unalienable part of the bilateral relations.
The relations between China and Grenada is very cordial. The two countries have exchanges and cooperations in many sectors, including education and sports. So the Chinese embassy here also try its best to provide some help to the local community, the local schools. So today we are so happy that we hand over this humble donation.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, Honorable Joseph Andal, expressed appreciation for the generous donations from the Chinese embassy. He spoke highly of the contributions of the Chinese government towards the development of sports in Grenada and hoped that both countries will actively explore new ideas and approaches for future sports cooperation.
We approached the ambassador, His Excellency Wei Hongjian, for assistance with procuring uniforms for our boys and girls, because we know that it is a very expensive venture to find the necessary uniforms and equipment for sports. And so I wish to place on record my sincere gratitude to the ambassador and his team for this kind gesture.
Member of Parliament for St. Patrick East, Honorable Dennis Cornwall, added that the equipment was donated at the exact time of need and hopes the distribution among schools assist in playing its role in promoting and developing sporting activities for the constituency and beyond.
For some time, cricket and football was a dying thing in the schools and so on. We knew there was a time when cricket and football was the going thing in the primary schools. But because of many issues, it basically came to a lull. It was non-existent. And therefore we are taking this opportunity today to try and revive sports in the primary school. We want to see the competition in football and cricket come back in a big way. So today, the Chinese ambassador here in Grenada is going to afford us with many uniforms for both cricket and football. We're also going to get some balls as well as socks and other things that will be helping the kids to be properly attired in the fields to be able to do it.
Following the ceremony, the equipment was distributed to the varying schools. For the Government Information Service, I am Eugenia Peters.
Finally, the Grenada Boys Secondary School and St. David's Catholic Secondary have dominated the 2023 Republic Bank Intercall Games to win the boys and girls divisions respectively. We end this week's roundup with highlights from 3 days of keenly contested track and field events.
I think we've had some very spectacular performances. I've seen some really good times and some outstanding talent among our athletes, I mean, from all the schools, and I think it's a very good sign, and I've been encouraged by what I've seen here over the last couple of days.
Sports falls under your actual purview as well as Honorable Redhead, but in terms of the strengthening of the coaching systems within the secondary schools and the encouragement of clubs and more events for the children to showcase their talents, what are your thoughts on that, and will you, as the lead minister, be pushing to have that anytime soon?
Well, certainly, and I think some of that is already in the making. One, with the push to implement the sports policy, there are some elements of that in terms of capturing the talent early and being able to identify and nurture those talents, so that's there. Additionally, there is already significant collaboration between mainstream education and the Department of Sports to use some of their coaches to assist in some of the in clusters of primary schools where they may not be physical education teachers at the moment, to facilitate the kind of enhancement of the talent that exists among our students. So there's a bit of that happening, and we look forward to having more and more of it as we settle and begin to roll out more of our sports programs across the sector.
They're off, up, out, and running. Delron John is up. Delron John is up. Delron John is gone. He's got his compatriot from SAS coming, Christoph, but he's not going to hold him. Delron John is gone, and it seems as though Ethan O'Geese from PBC may have snapped the second, coming out in the outside lane in lane 8. That was nothing short of awesome, Davis Adams. Talk to me. Up, out, off. Good, clean start, and here we go. This looks like Anglican High School in Chiffonia hosting. She's got some work to do, but oh no, she's going to be eclipsed. Happy Hill Secondary School to Leah Sampson. It looks like Sampson. Sampson goes all the way through. So Sampson does the big upset and picks up the gold medal, and Happy Hill Secondary does 1 and 2. Off, clean, nice, neat, clean start. And here we go. This looks like Ethan Sam. Ethan Sam is out. Ethan Sam is out. Ethan Sam is gone. Ethan Sam is gone. And there's a fight somewhere for second place. But Ethan Sam did the triple 1, 2, and 4. And boy, did he do it with zest.
That brings us to the end of the government's Week in Review. Recapping the top stories: teachers to benefit from 13% collective pay increase for 2023 to 2025. And government announces appointments to diplomatic missions. I am Kristen Mitchell. Thank you for joining us.